My name is Sherilyn Dorsey, and I am creator and founder of You're More Than Their Mother, and I teach entrepreneurial moms to reclaim, realign, and rebalance your lives and go after your dreams. So, alrighty, so let me start with the recap first of what it is that Monique did. Actually, I'm going to start with the recap here of You're More Than Their Mother, the book. What it is that we're talking about this week is, well, first of all, the overall theme of the book is self-care. Okay, that is what the resounding theme throughout the book and thread is through the book, through different pragmatic solutions it is that you can do in your life every day to take better care of yourself and to put you first and make you a priority on your list of things to do. Not only does it do that, but it goes through different incidents and things that we are probably and very likely going through or have gone through or will go through at some point as a mom and as a significant other, just as a woman, really. So again, this topic was finding out what's really going on with you. And in short, what that talked about is the fact that what's really going on with you, meaning an incident that's coming up, you being angry about something, you getting into a spat with somebody, always kind of emotional, whatever it is that you deem that is not positive behavior or usual behavior of you, even up to and including depression. What I often tell people and people that I work with and mentor is I let them know that usually the thing it is that's coming out, meaning the yelling, the arguing, that initial sadness, it's usually not the thing that is really bothering you. There is some undercurrent that's going on with you that's causing you to act in the way it is that you're acting. And in this case, in a way that's not so positive or doesn't serve you. Alrighty, so it's my assertion that we have to get to the bottom of that in order for us to find out what's really bothering us and for us to be okay. Because it's going to come out in your job, it's going to come out with your spouse, it's going to come out against your children. It really comes out even with you against yourself. You do things that self-sabotage you. You have these feelings of downtrodden, overwhelm, disinterest, this uneasiness, and it's really of detriment to you because of, as you know, those things cause physiological issues that can come up. Excuse me. Alrighty. So with that being said, this book really took a deep dive into what it is that you can do right now to heal that. Alrighty, so now that that's out the way, let's talk about this Monique incident. So if you haven't watched the video that I had linked to this, let me just give you a quick synopsis. In short, Monique, as you know, is a stand-up comic in addition to many other things, right? An actress, a writer, all of that wonderful stuff. Well, she had a comedy show on Mother's Day. This is 2017 at the time of this taping. She had this comedy show on Mother's Day this year, and it sounded like, we didn't get the excerpt according from the video it is that's circulating now or that's popular. We didn't get the excerpt of what that person said in full that prompted this reaction that I'll tell you about here in a second. But someone in the audience seemingly said something about her being blackballed, or maybe asked her about it, or maybe even made a slick comment. It's a comedy show. You know how hecklers can be. That being said, Monique clapped back, right? She said something really quickly, and she told them, no, she wasn't blackballed. And then she went on to break down in many different expletives and slang, if you will, how she wasn't blackballed. But most importantly, she was saying, she called out some of our popular and in many cases beloved figures like Tyler Perry and like Oprah Winfrey and like Lee Daniels, for people who like those people. So there's this huge uprising, and I'm noticing people are saying that she is angry, she's bitter, she needs to humble herself, she's not worth what it is that she's asking, all of these different things. And of course, everybody has a right to their opinion, and it's the internet. Once it's out there, people are going to assert their opinion. Whatever, it is what it is. I really want to use this as a way to reinforce self-care and to talk to you about how what she's doing is a prime example of what it is that I'm trying to urge you to do and get to the bottom of what's really bothering you. Alrighty, here's my first consideration for you. I want you to consider the fact that Monique may not be angry. Monique is simply telling her truth according to her. Now let's talk about the setting of where she was. Monique was in a comedy show. So there's a lot of back and forth, of course, with hecklers. There's a lot of slick talking where this person's getting flipped. And Monique has made it very clear that she's not the type of, quote, celebrity, if you will, that kind of walks around quiet or doesn't talk back when people talk slick to her. It's literally what she gets paid to do. We laugh when, for those that like her style of comedy, we laugh when she gets back with the heckler. But when she says something that other people are either uncomfortable with or what they don't believe to be true or even has not been their experience, she's getting, to me, what I consider a lot of backlash and negative press. Not only is she getting this negative press because of how she said it and how quickly and how slick she said it and what she said, but of the names it is that she mentioned, right? We don't want to, there's a large population of people that like all of those people we mentioned, Tyler, Oprah, and Lee Daniels. They love those people. And so those people who really like them especially are really guided by their enjoyment of what it is that they deliver to us on our TV screens and whatever other form of mediums they use to entertain us. And so they are kind of, in my opinion, led by those emotions to say that she needs to essentially be quiet or not name drop like that, or that's what's keeping her separate from her moving forward in her career in whatever way it is that they seem to think. And all of that being said, I refute that 100%. I refute it 100%. Now, what could be happening, because those are really huge names in the industry it is that she is a part of, what could be happening is she could be kept separate from some opportunities that would probably come her way if she didn't feel the way that she did. But what I say to you is that for who she is, meaning the person she is, the belief she has in herself, what she believes herself to be, those are not her opportunities. She's not missing anything. Whatever it is that you are part of or make an agreement with, that means to go into contractually or verbally, should be in congruence with who it is that you believe yourself to be or your philosophy. Monique believes that she should be paid a certain amount, she should be treated a certain way, that she should get certain things. Who are we to say she shouldn't, right? Who are we to say she shouldn't? Of course, we can have our opinions, and I know how that goes, so I won't even belabor that issue. But that's how I think of it. That's how I approach it. Now, let's get into how this can benefit us when we're talking about what's really bothering us. So long, so often, so many people, they don't speak their truths because they are afraid of who it will offend. They are afraid of who they will have to call out in order to tell their experience. Many times we've been hurt or we feel wronged by people it is that we love, including our parents, including our siblings, our aunts, uncles, cousins, people it is who society says, hey, you should have some type of fond relationship with, right? Some type of loving relationship. Well, when we, especially you all, when we're talking about a parent, when we have, or when we figure out that once we get to the root of what's really bothering us, that the source of what's really bothering us involves a parent, so often we push it away. For people that love their parents, some people have no problem with it. I'm talking about those people who are toggling between what's right and their truth, right? Because those are two different things in some cases. And it doesn't make you wrong for sharing your truth. This is Monique's truth. What is your truth about you that you have to say no matter who it offends, no matter what name is dropped in it, no matter who agrees with you, no matter who disagrees with you, right? No matter what they say, because people are going to have an opinion and they have a right to it. But the truth is, or the real courage and strength lies in you not giving a flip what it is that they think if it doesn't serve you, right? You have to separate yourself from things that do not serve you. It doesn't mean that you ignore constructive criticism, But guess what? You get to decide what is constructive criticism, not anybody else. Because everybody is going to tell you what the truth is, and that's according to them. But you have to be strong enough. You have to be willing. You have to persevere through the fact that your truth is what matters the most, even when it's not expedient, even when it's not comfortable for other people. You have to find out what's really bothering you. And the truth is, when, there I am with that truth. What happens is when we ignore that, when we put that down to make other people comfortable, now we're walking around angry. We're yelling at people with this displaced aggression, right? We're angry and yelling at our children, right? For something that's so small, or that straw that broke the camel's back, right? And it's a disservice to them and to you. Because again, you're harboring all of this negative energy, which I believe comes out in the form of different illnesses and ailments, from gallbladders to kidneys to cancer. Listen, that's a whole nother talk and a whole nother discussion. But it will manifest itself, and you will feel the ramifications physiologically when you are harboring stress, anger, aggression, anxiety to a fault. And the only way that you can get to the root of it and be who it is that you said you wanted to be is to tell your truth. So I applaud Monique for her telling her truth and sticking to it. She believes that she should be treated and paid in a certain manner. She has a right to believe that. She has a right to believe it. And now that she said it out loud and dropped some names, said it out loud again, because a portion of that she said before, but has said it out loud again. Now people are saying she's angry, she's bitter. Actually, she's not. She's living her full truth. Actually, she's not, from my vantage point, of course. She's living her full truth. And we don't get to tell her, meaning in reality, right? Of course, you can use it in your, say it out of your mouth. But we don't get to tell her what her experience is or what it is that she believes she deserves. And if you don't think that's true, let somebody try and tell you what you deserve. Let somebody try and tell you what you should want, right? Or what your experience is. There will be an uprising, because you know people don't get to tell you that. You have a lived experience, and it is your truth. And nobody's acceptance or denial is needed to qualify that. So I want you to think about that. But I want to tell you some of the reasons why, even when you speak your truth, and what may be happening even with Monique, some of the reasons why, even when you speak your truth, people can't hear you, right? Here, for one reason. Let's talk about this in the form of Monique, and we'll go back and forth between us, proverbially speaking, okay, you, proverbially speaking, I should say, and Monique, what she did. One, let's talk about the reason people can't probably hear you when you're speaking your truth and getting to the root of what's really bothering you is your delivery. From your tone, your body language, your sarcasm, that can happen. And then even laughing oddly, if you will. So I have this one person that I know, everything is almost like a nervous laughter. And although they may be saying something serious, there's this nervous laughter that comes with it. Now, while I'm not telling you to, hey, you can stop that immediately or stop that on the dime, I'm not telling you it's right, I'm not telling you it's wrong. I want you to consider the fact that sometimes people can't hear you because of the way it's delivered. Some people don't equate laughter with seriousness. So although you may be serious as the Board of Health, they may not be able to take you serious fully because of this nervous laughter habit that you have. Well, from your end, it just may be a coping thing that you use to push you forward no matter what, to push you through things, to do it scared, whatever it is, right? But you have to consider the fact that there could be some interruption or some misinterpretation because of that. So consider that when you are considering who you're having to tell your truth. What are their triggers? What are things that help them to hear you better and more clearly? And I mean that literally and figuratively, right? Let's talk about body language. We can't say, I love you, like this, right? It's hardly believable. Well, you have to equate that with the things it is that you're saying. Be sure that your body language is matching what it is that you're saying, right? I can't say I'm sorry like this, because does it seem that I'm sorry? Likely no. most people won't interpret it for that, at least not a sincere one. So people aren't trying to hear what you're saying. They're only hearing your body language. And really, 80% of what you say comes from body language. Okay? People hear louder what you're doing or your actions than they do the things that come out of your mouth. So consider that. Consider the fact. Now let's talk about how it may be affecting Monique and why people can't hear her. Because when I say that body language and they're calling her angry and that's sarcasm and things like that. Number one, she's on a comedy stage. So people just want to be felt like they are made to laugh. They just want to laugh. So when it gets real, if you will, people have an aversion almost to that in the comedy because people feel like, oh, this is an appropriate time. This is not the place. It's sarcastic. And then when she was, she kind of had a quick motion where she said, I'm not angry. And she kind of hit her chest aggressively. That could be used as she's saying, I'm not angry, or as she's saying, oh, I wasn't blackballed. I'm sorry, what's her words? That kind of didn't match with if there has been no foul ran against you, then most people don't equate you kind of hitting your chest aggressively as you being angry or feel like you've been done wrong, right? So maybe that's why people can't hear it. Do you see the parallel in this? I want you to see this because I want you to use this to benefit your life. See, people want the results of what comes with this, people listening to them, people doing what it is that they ask, people accepting their truth. But you have to understand that this is a lived philosophy, and this goes with every single thing you do, even when it makes other people uncomfortable, right? Another reason people probably can't hear you is cadence. We kind of talked about this with voice, but you have to watch out when you're yelling and you're screaming at people. Sometimes people are blocking you out because they don't appreciate being yelled and screamed at. Not only that, usually when you are yelling and screaming at someone, now the issue is no longer the issue or the real issue. Now the issue is, who do you think you're talking to? So now you're going to go into this whole bit about respect, and you getting what you consider your due respect, and that other person feeling justified because of the emotions that's coming up in them. Hey there, thanks for joining me on the private page. Who is that? Right? So they're feeling that. So it may be that you all miss each other and can't hear, or in this case specifically, the person can't hear you. And yes, it is noon. It is noon, Jennifer. It's noon Central Standard Time. Oh, good afternoon. Oh, I get it. I'm sorry. But the person can't hear you because of the inflections in your voice, right? It matters. Here's the flip side of that. Sometimes people can't hear you because you're whispering. They can't take you seriously. You kind of have that little voice where you're so timid, and it's people equate it with being timid and meek. And if you're telling someone your truth and you are expecting a shift in their behavior based upon the truth that you reveal to them, then it's likely, or you have to consider the fact that this is negatively affecting them and is going to affect this difference in treatment that you want, this shift in behavior that you want. Now let's talk about it as it relates to Monique and why she probably, again, there's some aversion to her. From my perspective, her delivery. Listen, she has a very raspy voice. Sometimes it sounds like she's almost hoarse and she just kind of pushes through it, but it's her voice. When she was talking and was saying that, she was very clear, very succinct with her words, and her voice was going up. And listen, although she had a microphone in her hand, her voice was elevated. So people oftentimes, again, equate that with a level of disrespect and a level of anger. So now, okay, who are you mad at? Who do you think you're talking to? Now we're no longer talking about the issue. We're talking about what I believe it is that you should be doing in terms of controlling your voice and who it is you're talking to and respecting me at the level in which I think I should be respected, right? So that's another reason why people could be rejecting that. But I want you to see again why it is sometimes people can't hear you when you're telling them what's really bothering you. And it's so hugely important that you know these things, because when you tell people, when you become vulnerable and open yourself up and tell people how it is that you're feeling, you want to make sure that you create the platform so that it is received, understood, and that new actions can be executed towards you. Because when you say things like that, it's understood, it usually follows that now your actions are going to change. You're going to live differently. You won't overcommit anymore. You won't shrink yourself to other people's ideals of you. You're not acquiescing to anyone else's power. You have realized your own, and you're going to move forward on that merit. Does that make sense? Hit me with a thumbs up or hearts, even if you are watching this on the replay. But let me know if that makes sense to you, okay? So, all right, we talked about that cadence. The other one is, and I'm sure a lot of people are really getting this or having aversion to this from Monique, especially if you don't curse or you have some type of religious beliefs that go against the way it is that she's talking. I absolutely can understand where you're coming from with this, but a lot of people can't hear you literally because of the words you are using. Now, I'm going to use Monique in this case first. If you watch the video that I have linked to this post, or if you've seen it in the past, you know that Monique is a cusser, as she said, right? She curses. And she also uses a lot of slang, words that not everybody uses, and some people get offended by. So right away, people are, in my opinion, missing this valuable lesson it is that she's delivering on how to basically take care of you, self-care, and one of those ways is finding out what's really bothering you. People are missing that because of the words it is that she's using. So people have really more commentary around her wording than they do the message it is that can be gleaned from this. Now, I want to make sure I'm clear on this. I get she's not everybody's cup of tea, but I don't want that to block you from getting the good out of it that can serve you. Does that make sense? Please let me know if that makes sense. Alrighty, now as it relates to you specifically, when you are telling your truth and telling people what's really bothering you and fleshing out good, Jennifer, and you're fleshing out your feelings and you're finding the courage to say what it is that you want to say. Be sure that you are using words and language that the person you're talking to can not only relate to, but that they understand. Because sometimes we get lost in translation. Number one, with slang. It just happens, right? It just happens. We're from different regions. Sometimes we've gone on with our lives, or other parts we may have grown up around that, but we have since abandoned that talk. We have not kept up with societal norms or, different colloquialisms. We just haven't done that anymore, and you have a right to do that. So you want to make sure the person it is that you're talking to understands you. So you want to use whatever standard language it is that is used for the area that you're in, for the person, most specifically for the person it is that you're talking to. And you have to always remember, when it comes to wording, that you don't get to tell people what they did to you. You get to tell people your experience of them. Because once you get to telling people what they did or what they meant, they have every right. First of all, they can change it and say, hey, no, I didn't. That's not what I meant. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. That's not what I meant. Whatever it is, whatever the case may be. Uh-oh. Turn that off. Whatever the case may be, they will tell you that. And now it becomes an issue of facts, right? And we're not here to debate facts. You're there to share your truth with that person. So make sure that you are able to stay on task and on target by using the words it is that are universal between you and that person so that they better understand you and more quickly are able to shift the behavior, or you're able to see it for what it is if this is necessary and eliminate that person from around you or out of your life altogether. You get to make that decision, right? All righty. So those are some of the reasons people can't hear you. Now let me wrap it up with this. Some of the benefits, what I believe of coming out of what Monique said, because I think that there is good in everything and I can find it pretty much and usually. But I also, again, want to run parallel to what it is that I've been telling you. And that is about finding what's really bothering you. Self-care, telling your truth. Telling your truth. And actually, that is the first one here, the greatest benefit. Let's talk about it as it relates to us. Telling your truth will free you up from so much mental, physiological, and physical bondage that once you taste the freedom, you want to make sure that that's applied in every area of your life. Tell your truth no matter what. No matter what. You have to tell your truth. Let's talk about this as it relates to Monique specifically now. When Monique was up there telling her truth, she was freeing herself. She was getting some things off of her that can sometimes circle back around, because although we can get rid of something for the moment and even for a long time, there are certain things and triggers that happen in society that can sometimes cause you to re-shrink or quiet your mouth. And what I want you to understand and consider is the fact that no matter what, you never play small to other people. You tell your truth and put it out in this world and let it be what it's going to be. Have no attachment to how other people take it per se. Now, I know I put some precursors in this with what it is we were just talking about, how people can't hear you. Consider those things, but I'm talking about their response in terms, first of all, non-factor people. People that have nothing to do with it, you can't consider them at all, right? You can't consider them. You just have to tell your truth. Now, with this being said, I want to make sure that I mention this for those that don't know me. I believe you should always keep your intentions pure. I believe that you should always be the best of who it is that you can be. And what I believe about that, and if you do that, then I believe that you will always, in keeping your intentions pure, I believe that the right people will understand, and you won't have to go back and change anything that you said. Sometimes you can feel sorry or not want people to feel a certain way, but it still doesn't change what it is that you said. And you meant what you said. You just don't want to see your loved ones hurt or in any kind of disarray, because that's not the goal. The goal is for them to understand what it is that you're saying and where you're coming from and what it is that you need from them now. Because that very much differs from what we needed from someone a year ago, 6 months ago, sometimes 10 years ago, whatever the case may be. So I move forward, and whenever I speak, I'm coming from under that aegis. That is my philosophy and the thing that moves me forward in everything that I do. I keep my intentions pure. Okay? Alrighty, so telling your truth. You still with me there, Jennifer? I see you on, I think, here on the live. Okay, let me know if this is making sense for you or if you agree with it. If you don't agree with it, say that. Alrighty? So the next one. No one, this is a benefit again, no one gets to tell your experience. No one gets to tell that. People can tell their experience of what they believe your experience to be, but that is their experience, not yours. Monique is telling her experience. I don't care how many people have had wonderful experiences with any of those people she mentioned. I'm a fan of all of them, right? It was shocking to hear her say it that directly. But those people are human. And not only that, I don't get to tell her experience. And I would never discount and say that didn't happen or it couldn't happen, right? Because it was her experience. It did happen for her. Right? So with that being said, she put it out there and again allowed it to be what it was going to be, unafraid of saying those people's name who it may affect. And when I say affect, meaning affecting other people, because who knows if those people even saw it or if they care, right? That's a whole, again, other topic. Well, that's what I want you to align yourself with. I want you to understand that, again, no one gets to tell you your experience, but not only that, you have to have, and this leads me right into the next one, they go all work in tandem, you have to have the courage to say it no matter who's offended by it, no matter who it hurts, no matter what. No matter what, you have to speak up, tell your truth, own your experience, and say it no matter what, right? No matter what. Now, in the case of Monique, what has happened or what people believe to be happening is that she's not getting the roles it is that she used to, if you will, or she's not doing the things it is that she used to do. Well, again, like I said at the beginning of this video, those roles aren't for her. She should not have to change who it is that she is, lie about what she considers to be her experience, shrink or acquiesce to other people's ideals of her or how she should be as a entertainer or a person that is visible. She shouldn't have to do those things in order to get a job, right? Although it may be the reality of what you have to do, she doesn't have to acquiesce to that, and she's not wrong for not doing that. What she's chosen to do is go on and do other things, even if she never did anything else. And she ended up just having to work a 9-to-5 job that's not as visible at the Burger King, whatever it is. What she'll have is her peace of mind. What she'll be doing is living in integrity with who it is that she is. And life will teach her what she needs to know in order to create another opportunity. But that opportunity will be in congruence with who it is that she is. Right? And so anything that doesn't match that, you should not be a part of. And for so long, to go back to us, for so long, what we've done as moms, as women, is we have acquiesced to other people's ideals of us. And because we run into trouble or some type of obstacle, what we'll do is abandon who it is that we want to be and the way that we show up in this world in order to acquiesce. I should say it like that. In order to acquiesce to what other people think it is that you should be. Right? And that leads to depression, anger, anxiety, separation, all of those things. It will never serve you to not be authentic or in integrity with who it is that you are. I submit that you're more than their mother. Right? Alrighty. So, alrighty. Well, I hope that this served you. I hope that you see the congruence in what it is that I was trying to say. Some people consider this to be an extreme example, but what I always get that I really enjoy is very complimentary words on how it is that I conduct my life and what it is that I do. And the reason that I deem this appropriate is because what I need for everyone to really understand, no matter if you work with me or not, or know me, or whatever it is, to me, what one universal truth is that if you have to do what serves you, ultimately. This is not an act. This is a habit. This is a lifestyle, in the words of Aristotle, right? Excellence is not an act. It's a habit. So you have to, your spirit of excellence, whatever that is for you, has to be something that you practice through and through every thread of your life, no matter who it makes uncomfortable, no matter who understands, whether or not it's expedient for the moment that you're in. You have to be true and authentic to who it is that you are. That's going to mean saying no to things or to people that on the surface it may look like you should be joining up with or in agreement with. But the reality is, in order to get to what's really bothering you, you have to tell yourself and then live your truth in order to eliminate it. Alrighty? So I am going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the share button. Hit the share button. Should have been telling you this. And I want you to tell me your thoughts below. Tell me what you think. If you agree, disagree, I'm open. I love the dialogue and the exchange. So I want to hear, what are your thoughts? Do you think that there was some value in what it is that Monique did? What did you glean from it personally that can help you in your life? Forget the messenger. Right? Forget the messenger. And I personally like Monique, but I saw something so much bigger here and something that could be of benefit to so many other people, which is why I had to get on here and say something to see, am I the only one that can see this? How is this going? You know, what does this mean? So let me know. Let me know in the comments. Hit that share button. Somebody who you think this would be a benefit to, or just you just want to share and have some dialogue about, okay? I'm getting out of here, but until we see each other again, remember, it's time to move beyond everyone else's expectations of who you ought to be and become the woman you thought that you could be. Bye.